Hey everybody, Van Jr. back again for Lost and Found Metal Detecting. And today I'm going to be making a floating sifter that I'm going to plan on using this summer and while I'm out metal detecting in the lake, doing some water detecting. So I've seen some other videos in that of guys that have built and used different types of sifters and a lot of them use like a mesh cloth in the bottom. I thought I'd do a little something different. I don't really care for the idea of the mesh in the bottom because, well, it moves, it twists, and everything else, and it takes 100 twist ties to keep it lashed to the outer rim of the actual sifter. So that I thought maybe I'd try something a little different, and we'll see how this works. But let me give you an idea of what I'm up to here. It's mid-February right now, and I still can't detect, of course, because if you look outside here, we still have lots of snow here in Wisconsin. And so, in the meantime, I'm not stopping thinking about metal detecting, so that's why I decided maybe this is a winter project I could do, put together, and I can use it come spring. So to give you an idea what I have here, start out with the main body of the sifter. I bought this little white plastic bin here at Walmart, and it was about $4. And it's made by Sterlite. And it measures 12 inches across by 17 in length. And I figure it should be a pretty good size for dumping scoops full of dirt into it. And it's probably approximately about 5 inches in depth. Now the reason I picked this one is because it does have these square holes on the side already put into the bin itself. And that's going to allow me to attach my floats to the side more easily rather than using a ton of twist ties. So the other items that I have here, I do have the twist ties. I'm going to use a couple of those to help stabilize the float on the side. And then for my flotation devices, rather than using a lot of guys build them with PVC framework and then they wrap like the kids swimming noodles over that to give it a flotation, I'm going to actually use what are called dock fenders. You can call them boat bumpers, but basically they're a hard plastic, inflatable, or pre-inflated flotation that most of the time guys would use them on the side of their boat, and that would keep them from the boat banging the dock as they came in. But they work good as a good float device, so I'm going to use those to actually attach to the side of my sifter. I have the twist ties, and then I have a small length of rope here which I'm going to use to attach to the end so you can drag it behind you. A couple simple carabiners, and those are pretty cheap too, couple bucks, same with the rope, twist ties. You could probably put this whole thing together for less than $30. Now the other thing I do have here, I have a US Divers mesh bag, and the only thing I'm going to use that for is I'm going to actually attach that to the side of the float when it's done, because that way I'll be able to drop my junk finds into it, and I don't have to carry them with me when I'm in the water, like pop cans and things like that. And there we have it. That's the materials. The first thing I'm going to do in this step is I'm going to actually drill a series of holes in the bottom here that will allow the water and the light sand and that to sift out of the bottom. So stay tuned for a second here, and I will use my cordless drill here, and I'm going to do a series of probably 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch drilled holes. I don't want to go too big, nothing that a dime would fall through, so you definitely want to be under that 5/16 range. And I'm going to drill a series of holes in the bottom of this, so that way it'll allow everything to wash out. Stay tuned, and I'll get back to you with that. Alright, and we're back, and we've drilled our holes. Now, a couple helpful tips that could help you out. Number one, make sure you don't drill into the Mrs. kitchen table. That could not be good. And make sure when you're done, you clean up all the mess too. That way she doesn't mind that you actually used the kitchen table in the wintertime to do your metal detecting projects on. So, but to give you a look at how it looks now that I've drilled the holes in the bottom, you can see I've added just a few 1/4 inch holes to the middle part of it, and the rest of them are about 1/8 inch. And there we have it. Alright, so now that the holes are drilled in the bottom of the basket, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to attach the floats to the side like this. So there'll be one on each side to keep that above water. Now we want to make sure that we attach these low enough down that the bottom of the float will, or actually the strainer will actually sit at about water level. You don't want this thing to be submerged so far into the water that when you dump it in, there's water filling up this far. You won't be able to find real easy what you're looking for. And the other idea behind it here is the reason I've gone all plastic is that way I can actually use my pinpointer in the strainer itself to find what I'm looking for. If you get that really small item like a lead sinker or a piece of an earring or something like that that's really small and tiny, this will allow you to still use your waterproof pinpointer to go inside the basket itself and find what you're looking for. So give me a second and I'm going to attach these to the side now, and I will give you a shot here in just a second. Okay, so you can see what I've done here. I have attached the float to each side, and basically using the existing square holes that are already in here, I ran from the eye hole on the end of the float on this side and I just wove it through the basket and came around and attached it to the eye hole on the other side. That way it pulls it tight, stiffens it from one side to the other, and then I did likewise on the other end as well. That way the floats are attached to the side. Now to keep them from rolling up, you can see they still move a little bit here in the middle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a couple of these long 14.5-inch zip ties right to the side to kind of hold them in place. That way it'll keep the basket from shifting from the float itself. Once the zip ties are secured in place, simply snip the leftover material on the zip tie off so that way they're not snagging your wetsuit or any of your clothing when you're in the water. Next we'll attach the tow line. I'm using just a simple twisted poly rope and a couple carabiner clips. I'm just going to use one of them, and the reason I don't want the metal one on this end, I want just the metal carabiner on the end that's going to attach to my waist. That way there's no metal involved in this that will false on my pinpointer. So stay tuned, I will attach the tow rope. To attach the tow rope, if you notice I've not attached it to the basket itself. I don't want to put any stress on the plastic that it would crack it or anything like that. So what I've done is I've actually attached it to the rope that I've secured both sides of the floats to. After that, make sure you give yourself plenty enough rope to tow it behind you in all water conditions, whether it be shallow water or deep water. You want to make sure that you have plenty enough rope to tow it behind you, not that it's right on top of you. On the other end, I simply used a small keychain ring just to hook to the rope, wrapped it, and then put the carabiner on this end so it's an easy clamp to a belt loop or a belt. Next we'll attach the fines pouch to the side of the back end of the float. To attach the fines pouch, I have simply added just another short section of rope here attached to the towline that connects the buoys on both sides. Then using a simple hook and pull, I've looped the fines pouch through, making it easier to take it on and off. And the reason for that being is that this is a pretty long bag. If I'm going to be using it in shallow water, I don't want to actually have the bag on here, otherwise it's going to be snagging every rock along the bottom. But in deeper water it'll be fine to carry anything that not of value, you know, pop cans, that sort of thing. If you find something you don't want to accumulate all that stuff in your pouch, this will work well to keep it in place until I can bring it home and trash it later on. And there we have it, folks. So a very simple design, cheap materials, and easy to put together. I'm looking forward to trying this out this summer. I hope you all enjoyed the video and the instructional. And I will get back to you and show you this spring how well it works. Thanks for watching, everybody.